beach ball, fax machine, Pires Henry penalty, Fowler sniffs, Gerrard slips, let's be having you. Great kit, Raffers facts, Ali Dia, Warnock's back, Van Gogh slumps, Fergie jumps, Ashley Young eats poo. Wenger's pocket, Chris Kamara, Kiko Makeda's a baller, Gerrard's off, Wenger's off, Balotelli's bib is off, Max Smalling, Cook, Tomine, Arsenal sell, RVPD, Canio, push Raffles down, Kevin Keegan's meltdown. Unlikely Hall of Famers, there's no Alan Shearer, we've got Ali Dia. Unlikely Hall of Famers, but they're still quite famous, you can hardly blame us. Hello and welcome to Late Night Live after the longest and most arduous introduction I've ever done. The show hasn't been prepped, it's hardly been planned at all. I've got two losers in here who have hardly helped. No, they've been very big help. Thank you very much, both of you, for your help in making that happen. What the actual F was that? Voice of an angel, exactly right. Someone saying yes, Joe. Right, tonight we are going to be talking about a few different things, as we tend to do here on Late Night Live. We're going to be looking at Federico Chiesa. Woo! We're going to be looking at the new Hall of Fame for the Premier League. And we're also going to be looking at a few wacky, weird and strange stories, as we always do. It's Late Night Live, for God's sake. We're not doing anything else. And of course, tonight's sponsor, slightly different, bottles! Open them up. Actually, I was going to use the spoon, but let's use the oversized Magaluf penis opener instead. Sorry to any under 18s at home, but it's only wood and it's fictional. Let me know what you're drinking at home. Turn that music off. Oh, I've been sick. Let us know how you're doing at home. Mittel Mystery saying cans. It's actually bottles tonight, mate. But very similar. That was the best intro ever. Oh, stop it, you. Oliver, a big congratulations to Oliver. The first thing we should say, Oliver Edwards, our 14-year-old, before anyone says anything bad, regular viewer, who has won the Salford Young Mayor 2020 vote. He's basically, what? You know, the Boris Johnson for Salford. An under-18s bojo. I don't mean that, really. I'll be honest, I read his manifesto, and it couldn't have been the polar opposite, more of the polar opposite from what Boris did in London. So it's actually very big congratulations to you, Oliver. Let us know in the comments how much you make in a year and how much we get for basically running your campaign for you. I'm basically the Paul Manafort to your Donald Trump. So, you know, we should definitely get some sort of remuneration for that. Right, let's get right into it then. Too hot already, lads. Let's get a couple of beers down. Oh, tastes almost as good out of the bottle as it does out of the can. Mark Atherton straight in there saying, I voted for the other guy. Also, I want you to let me know tonight, give me some of your unlikely Hall of Famers. We've seen a huge plethora of potential unlikely Hall of Famers in my intro tonight. My song, let's face it, my first solo single. But I want to know some of your unlikely Hall of Famers in a world where it's probably going to be Ryan Giggs and Alan Shearer first through the door, let's face it. Let me know who you think might be 3, 4, 5,000 through the door with your unlikely Hall of Famers, of course. Right, let's get right into it then. We've got a bit of transfer news today. Oh, would you look at the transfers on that? There we go. Exclusive. This is from Craig Hope. A little bit of a sort of nominative determinism there, offering us hope in terms of transfers. Exclusive. Ollie gonna transfer. I almost said then, because he's bloody gonna transfer if he gets his way. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sent personal scout, Simon Wells, to watch Fiorentina and Italy winger Federico Chiesa last week, son of Enrico. In case you're wondering, like some sort of Lord of the Rings intro. Federico, son of Enrico. So he could be good. Valued at around 60 million. Contract up in 2022, and Fiorentina ready to offer new deal amid Juventus interest. So it seems as though we're not the only one interested. This is from the Daily Mail and Craig Hope, more specifically, as I mentioned before. Federico Chiesa, pardon me, the Stellas are repeating on me. What do you think to the young man? 22 years old. I think he's got something like 25 goals in 135 games for Fiorentina, but obviously he's come through as a youngster, so you slightly limit and you bring the roof down slightly on your expectations of a striker's first few, of a forward's first few seasons as a footballer. Let me know what you think to him, because he plays on the right wing. I'll be honest, the most I've seen of him is on FIFA, and he has had a few decent cards on FIFA in the last couple of years, so he must be good. If any of you watched Fiorentina, if any of you watched Federico Chiesa more specifically, and if you have, is he good? Because I like his hair, I like his finger, I like his lips, I like his badge, I like his face, and I like all of it. I like his Adam's apple, very prominent Adam's apple. But that's not, an Adam's apple does not a Premier League footballer make. So is he the man for United? Let's see what you're saying in the comments. Someone says, quesadillas, love them. Yeah. Bebe, Peter Beardsley, Jesse Lingard. These are our unlikely Hall of Famers, aren't they? Unlikely Hall of Famer IMO is Jose Reyes. Interesting. Could be. I think, actually, do you know what? You've brought the tone down. I'll be honest, TCS came in. You have brought the tone down. But I think he's actually quite a likely Hall of Famer. So you're wrong. But, Jose Reyes, great player. Corona for the Premier League. That could be one of our ways out of a Liverpool title. I've gone with Estella tonight. Second choice after Sancho. That could be, ZOT there. ZOT. What am I saying Z for? Americanised this show. It's gone to pot. That's what the Glazers influence, I suppose. ZOT, second choice after Sancho. I think he might be. I think it does seem as though Jadon Sancho is the first choice for United at the moment. There's been too much smoke and a little bit of fire already. We've heard people come out and talk about, United's interest in Sancho. It was there last summer. It was there in January. It's going to be there again in the summer. And I think he would be the perfect player to come in and solve our problems. Gianfranco Zola, unlikely Hall of Famer. Messi, very unlikely, Oliver. I like what you're doing there. Jemba, yeah, great option. Ashley Cole, Carlos Tevez, Colo Torre, all won the Premier Leagues with 2 different clubs. But, I mean, these are quite likely Hall of Famers. Titus Bramble, now there's an unlikely Hall of Famer. Cantona's Kung Fu King. There you go. There's an unlikely Hall of Famer there. Someone says Taibbi. Yeah, very unlikely. Makeda. Yeah, he was in the song. He was in the song. I'm going to release that as a full single, by the way. And I'm thinking, if we get we've got 35,000 subscribers on Stretford Paddock. If half of them buy it 10 times each, I'll be in the top 40. That's all I'll say. Alex Bagley says, do you want anything from the shop? Yes, please. Some bottles of beer would be great. Or some cans of beer. And actually, if you get a couple of, get some Coca-Cola, we can mix that in as well. Let's get into a bit of funny stuff then. Yeah, someone's having a go in there. Long hair, beard, overt hand gestures, pause before using some unnecessary sophistry/verbiage. Northern Russell Brand. Love you, Joe XX. Thank you, Liam Jones. I get compared to Russell Brand sometimes, but I think it's just the look, really. Dong Fang Zhu, great. Luke Chadwick. Not going to say that one, TCS Gaming. You're trying to catch me out tonight, but I'm better than that. Right, let's have a look at a bit of fun on the internet. Because what they've been doing on the internet is loads of silly stuff down the years. We've obviously seen Chiesa, who I think would be a good signing for United. That right-wing position has been a right tricky little BITCH, hasn't it, down the years? And I think anyone in there would help us out. This is good. McDonald's customer asks for extra filling and gets monstrosity in return. Brian Passifwiumi, so say what you will about that, had the internet hooked when he unveiled the breakfast bagel he was served in McDonald's when he requested extra cream cheese filling. Look at look at that. It looks like one of the ice scenes from like Die Another Day or something. Like he's fallen into some kind of ice cave. There's nothing worse than being left underwhelmed by the amount of food you're given in an order and being too British to say anything about it. That's nationalistic. Didn't like that. More photos of this monstrosity. He tweeted a picture of his bagel. Look at the bagel in question. It looks like he's bought 8 bagels, scraped all the cream cheese off and put it in one for a laugh. And I'll tell you something, right? Based on the thickness of that man's first finger, this isn't the first time he's had a kilogram of cream cheese on a bagel, is it? He's got some width to that digit, and that's not a bad thing. Look at it yawning in despair there, trying to be sick out of its own cake and cheese-filled mouth. Absolutely hideous. But do you know the worst thing about it? People call this a monstrosity. I can eat cream cheese with a spoon out the tub. Basically, you're using 2 bagels as, makeshift spoons to just scoop and inhale what is, let's face it, a quite frankly hideous amount of cream cheese. But when you have people have cheesecake, and it's a similar ratio of cream cheese to crumb, crust. I think Mr. Brian Passifume has actually done all right there, and I'd definitely eat that. I'd cut it in half, and I'd eat it one half at a time. But look at that. Bagels always remind me of going on holiday. My mum always used to do us a little cream cheese bagel. And I'll be honest, in the early years, very stingy with the cream cheese. She'll be the first to admit that. You'd be looking at it, it's like a sort of see-through, translucent kind of, like someone ate loads of cream cheese and then just sneezed on the bagel. Just dashing, just mottled, like finely dispersed, shit. But as the years have gone on, she softened a little bit. Last time we went on holiday, she was like, "Oh, just put the whole thing on. You put half a tub of cream cheese on a bagel." So I'm literally almost at this point. In 2 holidays' time, my mum's going to be dishing out bagels that look like that. Probably even worse. It would look like a sandwich from Scooby-Doo. You just have to... You have to do that with it, because they're going to be completely gone. Next up, Mum does school run and realises she left her children at home. Kevin! Absolute Home Alone it. Mum filmed the moment she realised she'd headed off on the school run without ever putting her children in the car. Absolutely. I think Mum of the Year so far. This is what all mums want to do, really, innit? Let's face it. I'll be honest. I've never really revealed this before, but I'm not a mother. So Alex is stunned off camera. I'm not a mother. So I can't really comment to her experience with putting kids in the car before driving away. But what I have done, and I have seen, is people leaving a cup of coffee on the roof of the car and then driving off. And I imagine this is a very similar thing. You put your kid on the car, you're going to buckle it in, shut the door, drive away.
Can I have the penis, please?
What's good? Oh, yep, you can have the penis. There you go.
Thank you.
Hand it over. I'm not greedy with it. I have to go back and pick them up. I can't believe I left my kids very Home Alone. And you know what? I bet she was driving to school thinking, this is the best school run I've ever done in my life. And then turn around, gone. Do you think, let's call it what it is, this sort of child abuse should be laughed at? Because who are they left at home with? We don't know. We don't know who they were left at home with. I assume... She said, I got in the car and left. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I was half asleep this morning. Where are my kids? The mum thought to be from the US, so she's still on the run. She's a fugitive. Turned around and headed home and found her 2 boys stood outside the house waiting for her. They were outside. She got them out the door. They were just stood on the porch. They could have been abducted, but they weren't. And really, that's all that matters. The clip was reposted on Twitter with the caption, "She really drove her kids to school, but her kids weren't in the car." And I can't stop laughing. Racking up more than 3 million views. Too many views. Because, the intro to this show should get as many as someone leaving their kids at home. Let's face it. The definition of... Oh, hello, Siri. What are you doing here? Go away. The definition of I'm leaving in 5 minutes with or without you. Very good joke. Very silly joke. Very good joke. And finally tonight... Finally, I had my nephew 9 arrested for stealing my wallet. Now my family are furious. When a relative called the police to arrest their 9-year-old nephew after they stole their wallet, a number of people criticised them. I'm going to say right now, this child being thoroughly admonished for, quite frankly, tearing, textbook in half, if this picture's anything to go by, isn't the actual child in question. An unforgiving relative called the police on their 9-year-old nephew after he stole their wallet and refused to hand it over. Oh, right. So this isn't like he's stolen the wallet, he's just left and he spent all the money. This is like wallet, hand behind back, refusing to hand it over. Give me my wallet. No, give me the wallet. And then they're like throwing it to each other in the living room, and then he goes outside and calls the police. This guy, they confronted him on the off chance he'd seen it, to which he smugly replied, "You can't prove that I stole the wallet." And you can't. So, despite trying to reason with him, they refused to hand it over, so they threatened to call the police. but he didn't take their threat seriously, so they made the call. Not long after, the police turned up, at which point the boy was sobbing uncontrollably, and handed back the wallet, begging for forgiveness. This kid's childhood has been cut to ribbons by this uncle here. When they told the police what happened and that his mum was refusing to pick him up, they handcuffed him and put him in the back of a police car. He's 9 years old. Oh no, the sister arrived 20 minutes later screaming and crying, so much so the police threatened to arrest her as well. I've arrested him for stealing the wallet and I'll arrest you for crying. What's the offence? Just public tears. Public tears. Get in the back of the van, lass. The unusual but extreme punishment has attracted much feedback online. 2 words there. Soz granddad. But the majority of people believe they went too far. One brutal Reddit user, I've seen how brutal Reddit users can be. I don't think this is going to be that brutal. You can call the police because you wanted to terrify an effing 9-year-old. That was cowardly, mean-spirited, senseless thing to do. Another said, what kind of mean-spirited BS is it to want a literal child arrested? You know what? Actually, the more I read this, I'm on the side of the uncle. I'm an uncle myself, and if any of my nieces or nephews are watching this, and you think about stealing my wallet, or even my cashless payment systems that are built into the phone, because I'm very much a 21st century guy, if you think about stealing my cashless payment systems, I'll call the ruddy police on you. And what I'll do is as well, I'll say that there's some sort of terror threat, and I'll have the riot squads round. So, 2 can play at this game. I'm on his side. Lock him up and throw away the key on this 9-year-old. He's on a slippery slope. And it's good that some sort of bumper is put in the way of that slope so he can stop where he is, turn round, and start using the ice picks of justice to climb back to the summit. Right, lads. Honestly, can you believe it? We've had such a show. 20 minutes have gone already. 20 minutes have gone. Wayne Bridges misses for Hall of Fame. She's certainly had her part to play in a few Premier League winning titles. They handcuffed him. No way. They handcuffed him. Unreal. Balotelli's bib for Hall of Fame. It's already in there. Oliver Edwards says he's 9. The parents get punished until he's 10. Maybe. Yeah, that's potentially how they do it. Yeah, I can't believe they handcuffed him. That is funny, though, isn't it? You can't do that. You can't arrest a child under the age of 10. What's the distinction there? Double digits, you getting in the back of the car, pal. If there's people watching, can you like the video, please? I'm sweating so much. If I was sweating likes here, I'd love that. Someone says that I'm high AF. I'm not. I never am. I've had 1.2 beers. I'm very much sober. It's literally just the adrenaline. And you know what? You see a lot of recording artists, and is it too soon to call myself a recording artist? Maybe. But you see a lot of recording artists go on the likes, your Graham Nortons, your Jonathan Rossi. And they go on there and they talk about the process and being in the studio. It's easy. They go on and on like it's some artistic pursuit. I knocked that out in about 3 hours. We didn't start the fire. More like we did start the fire, eh? Someone says, I think Joe misunderstood Alex there. Maybe he did, actually, yeah. I think he was asking for a different type of appendage to try and wrap around the top of his beer. The mirror, like a metaphor for life, as it always is. What colour is a mirror? It is the colour of your soul. I like the video, but I read that one already. Do her kids not talk to her in the car? I always have with my mum. Do you know what, Oliver? That is why you're such a well-adjusted young man, capable of being the young mayor of Salford. What I didn't necessarily like was your use of Comic Sans in your manifesto, but given your age, I'm willing to let that slide. But if I was your official campaign manager, first of all, I'd be asking for a lot of money and not just shout-outs on YouTube videos, and I would have changed that to maybe a Calibri, an Arial, or a... You know what? Papyrus. Shake it up a little bit. Kushak for Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to get in, but he could be. Joe's part of the hit parade. I am. I'm on the Billboard top 1,000 and 100,000s. Rossi's another one for Hall of Fame. Have you not got a new grabbing stick yet? Mark Atherton. Where can I write stuff down? I don't want the penis. I want to write stuff down. New grabber. I'll write that down. Consider it written down. If my mum ever tried to talk to, and the comment ends there, I think she's probably slapped the keyboard out of his hand for being disrespectful. And on that note, we're going to go. But we're going to play the intro one more time as a little outro song because a lot of you didn't see it. So, are you sponsored by Stella Artois or Corona? My Corona. We're sponsored by Stella Artois. We're not actually sponsored by Stella Artois. We're sponsored by the bottles and cans that the alcohol comes in. One of my close but insignificant relatives owns a can and bottle making plant. And, you know, I could also be sponsored by Marmalade. I could be sponsored by Marmite. Anything that comes in a can or a glass, I could be sponsored by, but it just happens to have been beer so far. Sean Gota, yeah, Windings for the Manifesto. Max Sykes, you love to hear it. Adam Patterson saying cans. You better be on your way here, young man. Otherwise, you're going to get a slapped bottom when you arrive. I'm thinking of buying a Tesla. What do you think? Yeah, actually, do you know what? Send me the cash for the Tesla. I'll buy it and I'll test drive it for a couple of years and let you know if it's any good. Cans. Yes, cans indeed. Like I said, I am going to be playing the intro to play us out because it's a backwards forwards type of show. But if you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Let me know as well in the comments what you think should be the next unlikely Hall of Famer. So for me and from all of the set here, the squeaky duck, the bell, the ear, the thing. We'll see you next week. Good night. Beach ball, fax machine, Pires Henry penalty, Fowler slips, Gerrard slips, let's be having you. Great kit, Raffers facts, Ali Dia, Warnock's back, Van Gogh slumps, Fergie jumps, Ashley Young eats poo. Wenger's pocket, Chris Kamara, Kiko Makeda's a baller, Gerrard off, Wenger's off, Balotelli's bib is off, Max Smalling, Cook, Tomine, Osmo Cell, RVPD, Kenny up, push Raffles down, Kevin Keegan's meltdown. Unlikely Hall of Famers, there's no Alan Shearer, we've got Ali Dia. Unlikely Hall of Famers, but they're still quite famous, you can hardly blame us.